Welcome to Decades of Horror, the classic era.
Men are all fools. They like to make a big show, hunt, shout.
This is episode 227, recorded April 19th, 2026.
Gruesome Magazine.
It's been a while, folks, and I am so glad to be back. But bear with me. And this podcast, I'm just going to let people know we're sorry. The originally scheduled publication of this podcast was supposed to be yesterday. So we'll get this out as fast as we can and try to get back on schedule. But sometimes, the powers that be just conspire. Yeah, life, basically. So this is our third attempt, and we still couldn't get Chad. So I was really looking forward to everybody being back together. All right, I am your host, Jeff Moore. On this podcast, we cover the good, the bad, maybe even the ugly horror films released since the beginning of time through 1969. In each episode, we'll discuss the monsters, spirits, psychos, and villains that have haunted movie-going audiences since the dawn of film history.
There it is.
Yeah.
With me this week are my incredible co-ghosts. I appreciate the efforts, Doc.
Yeah. Nice try.
I just couldn't get it.
Here's your at least you tried cake.
I appreciate it. Yes, at least you tried. You get a never mind. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate Doc for filling in for me while I was gone on wherever I was doing stuff on all these decades of horror. So it was a wonderful trip. But with me this week are my incredible co-ghosts. First up is Daphne, who is awesome, stupendous, and likable as hell. How are you, Daphne?
Hi, guys. I am doing pretty good. I'm really excited to see you and talk to you guys. I missed you. And it's just nice to chit-chat about this really cool movie.
Yes, I agree. And it's very nice to be back. It's been probably three and a half months, almost 4 months since the last time I recorded. So
we missed you.
I was on the West Coast.
Catching waves.
Well, hanging 5, I guess. I don't know what hang 10 means, but I wasn't doing any surfing. I think hanging 5 is laying on the lounge listening to the waves all the time. Anyway, also joining us tonight is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, published author of Rom, and all around nice guy.
And soon to be retired high school teacher. I have a month and 10 days to go.
I'm just gonna give you a hint, Bill. I started talking about retiring ahead of time, and or shortly after the retirement, I guess I was sort of complaining about my wife and I learning how to get along being together all the time instead of only like 4 or 5 hours a day because we're at work. And you know what? People that were still working were not sympathetic. I'm just warning you.
I understand your feelings, but let me counter with there is absolutely nothing that is going to stop me from having a smile so big that plastic surgery could not remove it. The man who laughs will look at me and say, "Tone it down."
I was wearing Hawaiian shirts, actually a shirt like this, to work every day for the last few months, and people would say things like, "Oh, that's kind of a light and breezy look." Because when I started working there, you had to wear a shirt and a tie. And then they went to looser stuff. And then, I'm just in the office. I'm not visiting clients. And I just told them, hey, every day is vacation when you're about to retire.
That's right. Oh, listen, I totally know. Every time I breathe, every time I say the word retirement, my wife, love of my life, pipes up with it's like, I've got like 3.5 years before I can retire. I'm like, sucks to be you. Maybe you should have been born a little earlier.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing picking a date to be born?
Maybe a little personal responsibility. What is it with women and accountability? I swear to God, geez.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And also with us is Doc Rotten.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
The OG.
I'm so glad to have you back, Jeff. Yeah, I was trying all those other things, but you picked the best movie for you to come back to. This Leopard Man. What a blast.
Yeah, I was checking into the order of people, and I think I butted in line, but I think I was just so excited to get started. I think where I would have fit in would have been like 2 episodes from now or something, or I would anyway. But here we are. I haven't done one for 3 months. Who cares?
You did great, Doc. Thank you.
You did. And you know what? I listened to every single one of them, and I watched every movie.
Oh, nice.
Now, how many times did you say to yourself, I cannot believe that they forgot that this guy was the lead actor in West to Laredo?
That happens some, and I'm going to point one out to you here today.
No.
Anyway, okay, Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine are partnering with Play Now Media and several other channels. You could go to them and treat them. They have all kinds of they're like a chameleon, you know. You can act like Tubi and you just go there and watch movies and you get ads and no problem. Or you can sign up for an account and then you can create a favorites list. You'll still get ads, but it'll remember where you were when you use different things. Or you could sign up for a subscription. Then you get everything without ads, plus some premium content you wouldn't get otherwise. So lots of good stuff on there. So we're on Classic Horror Movie Channel, the Classic Sci-Fi Movie Channel, and the Wicked Horror TV channel. And I keep finding other stuff that we're on. They have so many different channels that some of them are cross-breeding over. Totally on their own, I guess. I don't know. Apparently AI. Well, and actually, I noticed they have a new. It's not really new. It's probably 6 months old. Noir Movies channel, and they have some classic era episodes on there, like The Hitchhiker and Stranger from the Third Floor, Stranger on the Third Floor.
Yeah,
and I think there might be another one. What is the science fiction one with Mickey Spillane?
Kiss Me Deadly.
Kiss Me Deadly. That's what I was trying to think of. So I think they had the episode for that too. So anyway, all right, check them out. You can just go check them out. If you go to playnowmedia.com, you will be able to go to their, click on the menu thing and look for apps or products. I forget exactly how they're labeled, and you could see, oh my God, over 50, different channels that you could check out and go on and look for movies and watch them for free if you want, if you don't care about ads. So
they've got a lot of good stuff.
They do. They absolutely do. I watch stuff on there all the time. If I'm not sure what to watch, I'll just go on one of those channels. On this podcast, this is a spoiler podcast, and this movie has a mystery that is unveiled, which we'll probably tell you in the first couple minutes of the podcast. So actually, we're past the first couple minutes, so we're not going to tell you in the first couple minutes. But beware, if you want to watch this movie, go do it. It's on YouTube. A very good copy is available on YouTube. So check it out there. All right. On this podcast, we start by giving you some basic details of the film we're covering, follow each of our first impressions, then we'll move into a general discussion of whatever trips our triggers, hopefully relating to the film. And we get some marketing stuff. No promises. So our podcast today, the topic is The Leopard Man from Val Lewton at RKO. Was his third movie for them. Directed by Jacques Tourneur, written by Ardel Wray, with additional dialogue from Edward Dein, and it was based on the Cornell Woolrich 1942 novel Black Alibi, one of his Black series. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about it anyway. A cast includes Dennis O'Keefe, Margo, Jean Brooks, Isabel Jewell, Margaret Landry, Tuolikki Pananen, James Bell and Abner Biberman, or Biberman, whether you're feeling long or short that day. Production company, RKO Radio Pictures, filmed at the RKO Studios in Hollywood, and it said something about Santa Fe, New Mexico, but I'm not sure where those parts would have been. Filming dates, February 9th to March 8th, 1943, released on May 19th, 1943. The budget was $150,000, and it actually came in under budget.
Wow.
$147,314. Domestic box office, I heard somewhere, was just short of 400,000. You can't find that written down anywhere, but it was an interview. And the synopsis: a seemingly tame leopard used for a publicity stunt escapes and kills a young girl, spreading panic through a sleepy New Mexico town. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And this image is a waiter in the nightclub who just got clawed by the leopard escaping.
Yeah, the seemingly tame leopard.
And I couldn't decide which of these images to use, so I'm just going to throw these other two up here. That is the time of the occurrence of the Lewton bus for this movie, and the Lewton walk, which Chris Peters reminded me there's usually a Lewton walk too, where somebody's creeped out looking over their shoulders and hearing weird sounds and stuff.
Look at the light in the shadow.
It's awesome. He's a master of it. And this scene I thought was cool. At the end, there was this procession commemorating a village killed by conquistadors in the 17th century, and this was a cool scene. It's not really an emphasis of the movie or anything. It's just what I thought was cool. So I think we should go to first impression, and I'm going to let ladies go first, or Daphne, whichever comes first.
Whichever. Whoever's up here in the upper left-hand corner. I know I hadn't seen it before, and I really, really liked it. There are so many things that I thought were really interesting about this movie, and I'm really looking forward to hearing and talking in more detail with you guys about it. Some of the stuff that really stood out to me at first was just how Tourneur used different things, used the story and also visual language and sound to do the usual thing with atmosphere and dread. That was amazing. The light and the dark. I like the kind of twists on this, not necessarily the story, but how it was kind of used in the structure, that I thought was really kind of unexpected, at least to me, and just seemed kind of really, I don't know, sophisticated or just very, very, I don't know, really cool. And I thought that the acting felt really authentic and natural. Let's see. Oh, I liked how the people, just how the story kind of opened up, where you got to see more about each character and how they kind of were connected to each other, both in the story as well as how you see it presented on the screen. Just really neat and unique, I think.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I would like to hear from Doc Rotten next.
All right. Well, I had not seen this before, so this was quite a wonderful surprise. I watched it twice. I did a Jeff on this for various reasons.
I'm not going to tell you how many times
but I think I kind of mentioned it earlier. The light and the shadow. I really dug the composition of this film. I was like glued to that. I like the story. I followed along. I like the characters. Some of the characters I wanted to be in there more. even though they were clickety clackety and making me quite annoyed, but I still like the character. Who walks down the street and doesn't get yelled at from the windows above? I don't know.
Helps if you
At night.
Yeah, maybe it was like, oh, well, look at that. But anyway, I really enjoyed it, and I really got into the 40s dialogue. You know how actors were talking in those days and stuff, and this was, it was rich with that. So I was really enjoying that because it is dialogue heavy. But except for when it gets to the leopard moments, but the rest of it's all about who's it, what's it, and how's it. It was cool. I liked it. I was very surprised. I really, really enjoyed this.
Excellent. I'm glad. And Mr. Bill Mulligan, I heard you talking about a change of heart at some point.
Yes. This was my least favorite of all the Val Lewton movies that I was able to snag on TV back in the day. I knew about him from Famous Monsters. Forey Ackerman was a big fan of his work and that whole style of filming and more suggestion than gore. And when I saw it, I was very disappointed. I love the sequence of the blood coming under the door, and that's about it. Here's the crazy thing, though. Watching it again now, it's the first time I've seen it since back then. Everything that I disliked, the reasons I disliked it back then are now the reasons why I like it. So the movie hasn't changed, but I
like that.
I did not like that there was no supernatural element. That it turned out to be just a guy who thought he was a leopard. Now I see this as, okay, this is an episode of CSI. This is like one of the first real serial killers in cinema. And the term hadn't been invented yet, but this guy, this twitchy little guy at the end, when he starts describing, when he's doing his own profile, monologuing about everything, it's like, oh my God, this guy, this is the final act when they finally figure out that the guy who they thought initially was a suspect, but then it turns out he's not a suspect. But then it turns out no, he's not only really a suspect, he's the guilty party and everything. That was cool. I thought, as you said, I thought it was very dialogue heavy, a lot of talk. But now watching it, it's really good talk. These are good characters. Even some of the characters that you would expect to be kind of broadly painted. The bad girl with the maracas and everything. She's a cool character.
Yes.
She's unapologetic for what she is, and she makes a compelling argument for it, and you actually come to like her. And therefore, all the characters that none of them deserve their fate. There aren't that many deaths, but the ones that are there, they don't deserve their fate, and that kind of gives us some motivation to want to see this. The characters are all interesting. So what they have to say is interesting. And of course, now with the fullness of time, I have always appreciated, but even more so now, beautiful filmmaking, great lighting, great suspense, good editing. They couldn't get away with what they would now and what they would just go over the top with now. This is a really solid movie. It's, kind of light on the horror and all. And if they had filmed the book as the book was written, it would be much more horrific. But I have completely changed my opinion. I wish I had the time to watch it twice like Doc did, because as I'm watching, I'm like, well, this is way better than I remembered it. And by the end, I'm like, this is great. I don't know what I was thinking about. I was a stupid kid, I guess. So thanks for picking it, because it's always fun to revisit something you love, but it's even better to revisit something you weren't crazy about and discover. Give it another chance. There's a lot of good here.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
And you can elaborate on this if you like. One of the things I meant to mention was I love the transitions from character to character, and what Bill was talking about reminded me. And I think, Daphne, you were bringing this up in maybe when we were first trying to record this, where how they introduced some of the characters that weren't in the beginning of the movie, and we find them later, and how they went from one character to another to get to the character. I was really fascinated with that. And when I watched it a second time, even more so, because I was able to follow it specifically. So yeah, that alone won me over even more. Sorry, I just wanted
Oh, no. Excellent. So, yes, I picked this movie because I love Val Lewton, and I have not seen a Val Lewton movie I didn't love. Some are different from others. And I'll take that back. I haven't seen all of the ones he produced. I haven't seen Fifi. Mademoiselle Fifi or whatever. That was kind of an odd one, and I think he did. Anyway, I've seen all the ones that you can sort of throw into that horror bucket. Or horror adjacent, but I love this. But I'm with Bill. I'm totally with Bill because I did not like this the first time I saw it. It was one of those same thing, Leopard Man. Now I shouldn't have been fooled, I guess, because even if there was a Leopard Man, we would have never actually seen it because, like in Cat People, we didn't actually see a transformation. But anyway. I loved it, and I love the actors, love the writing. There's all kinds of weird little, like Clo-Clo's mother calls her Gabriella. You didn't have to do that, but that's a neat little touch. That's her stage name, Clo-Clo. And I think Jerry, he calls Kiki a few times. He calls her Kicks or Keeks or something like that. I just like those little. To me, they're just nice little touches.
It makes them feel like real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just exactly what Doc was saying is and I didn't figure this out myself. I figured this out because the Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Ooh, look at that.
Which has the standard poster on it that everybody has. I can't quite get it. There we go.
Yeah.
But it has 2 commentary tracks. And one of them is William Friedkin, and that is worth the admission.
Oh my gosh.
This is like one of his favorite all-time movies, and he spends
awesome.
The whole commentary walking you through, and I'm not going to say just the character transitions, but like scene transitions.
Yes.
And we'll talk. We're going to talk about it because I did the same thing. I can't tell you how many times I watched it, but today I watched it. All I did was write down. The opening shot of a scene is this, and then we moved to this because, there were just these natural transitions that were just amazing. I thought just really amazing. And some of the actual cuts,
I want to
one
get
of
the
them
right now.
well, like when, you see that Bill mentioned the blood coming under the door.
Oh yeah.
When Teresa's killed, you have full frame the bottom of the door and the blood and maybe Mama's dress or something, and then it transitions into the next scene. It fades from the bloody door to the window of the funeral home that the guy is cleaning. And
That's right.
Water.
Yeah, so that's cool.
I don't know what that means, but going from a door to a window of where the dead body was, I don't know.
Well, now I want to get that because the freaking, whenever you have someone who loves movies, loves movies, and they get a chance to talk about a movie they love, even if it's a movie you don't like, even if it's a lame movie, it's The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh or something. The fact that they love it and they're so in tune with the language of cinema, they can express why they love it and make you love it too.
Well, I would. It's kind of made me start to wonder about the cinematographers because my favorite guy is Nicholas Musaraka, who did I think 4 movies for Lewton and he did lots of noir. He's considered like the master of shadow. But this guy is not Nicholas Musaraka, and you could watch this and go this and think it was the shadow and everything. So I don't know if this was. I think maybe Lewton had a lot more input into the cinematography than a producer would normally have. They always say he was always there and he tinkered with the scripts and he tried to get everything he wanted to certain things just right. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I could go forever on this, and we'll move on to our what's next. We have character.
We could do that or taglines. Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the characters.
All right.
Because and Doc's going to escort us through this, right?
Yeah, sure. So we have a segment called Cast of Characters, and we're gonna.
them in order. Anyway.
That's okay. We can do them in any order. Doesn't matter. We're going to do them. Just puts the faces and the characters together. We are going to talk more about the characters than the actors, but we're going to talk about the actors too when we're doing it because it's hard not to. We're going to start off with our heroine, Jean Brooks, as Kiki Walker, who is a nightclub performer in New Mexico whose misguided, jealousy-fueled publicity stunt sets a tragic plot into motion. Boom. What do you think of her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one of the things I'll talk about at some point is there's a lot of guilt going around in this movie. There's a whole lot of people that feel guilty about, all or one of the deaths because if they would have done something different, and she's right at the top of that list for doing that stunt. But anyway,
I like how she was introduced and how the beginning characters are all unlikable. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more. But starting it off with setting the story of all these things that are going to happen, and even just the way they talk about each other and they talk to each other is just you're not really on board with these people, So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, they're not on board with each other at first.
Yeah, exactly.
But I liked about her is that she's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And she stands side by side with our hero, and she has a very pivotal part at the end that I really enjoyed. This character grew on me as the movie went on. I didn't realize why until you just said what you said.
Yeah. It's she does. She does grow on you. They all do actually, but
which is great.
Story. Our clue. Everyone feels guilty except for the killer.
And the police chief, but there's probably a reason why.
The police chief should feel guilty because he's useless, as most police chiefs are in these things. Always one thing you can always be sure of: whoever he suspects was in no way, shape, or form the killer.
Okay, so should we? Well, okay. 1, 2, 3. We're going to spoil it right now.
Oh, yeah. We
haven't seen the movie. Go see.
Okay, we'll wait till we go through these. Okay, we'll wait till we go through these.
I think we have I have the police chief.
You have the leopard.
And the leopard. But let's go to our hero, Dennis O'Keefe as Jerry Manning, who I really think is our second lead. I think she's more of a lead than he is, even though he's very much meant to. I mean, as far as emotionally, because he's pretty much your detective guy. When you were saying like the CSI stuff.
Yeah, he's driving the action, I think.
Mm-hmm. And and I liked
and making the police chief look stupid by asking.
No,
the police chief ignores.
It's just that the female character has much more at stake in the movie than he does. So she for me, she rose above him, but he's great. And he's not an actor I'm familiar with, but I think this character shows what he's capable of. This is a great character.
Mm-hmm.
Most unbelievable part of this movie is the fact that we have a guilt-ridden theatrical agent. There's a description that's never been used.
Got to do it at least once.
Well, he's part of the guilt too, because he's the one that comes up with the leopard stunt.
Let's bring a wild animal on stage. Yeah, okay.
But it's supposed to be tame.
It's supposed to be.
Charlie.
Well, I felt like his guilt and what that motivated him to do was really well done in his acting. And you guys have talked about that's dialogue heavy, and I think that's true. But I feel like it's also they did also a good job with performance, kind of giving away the feeling more than dialogue or exposition, and kind of how he just his body language and the writing, some of the writing, how you could see that he was dealing with the guilt. They both were, and it wasn't over the top or like hitting you in the head with it. And I thought that was good too.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of like stage acting coming through, but not the like trying to get to the back of the theater, but trying to bring, make sure that your body's telling the story,
Right.
and everything in that respect.
Especially with that's especially true for the killer. That last scene, I thought I really appreciated that last scene.
And we keep harping on the guilt thing here, but it really works, because especially living in a time when politicians and other people deny their obvious guilt, just to the bitter end, until there's photographic evidence, then even not. The fact that all these people are openly admitting, I bleeped up, and I'm going to try to make it right. And this is eating at me. It's like, wow, that's refreshing. That's even, there's a dignity. There's an actual dignity to feeling guilty. I mean, ideally, don't screw up and you won't have to feel this. But if you do, admitting it and then, okay, I did it. And how do I make it right? Even to the very end, when the guy who takes out our bad guy, he walks into the police office. I did it, and I'm ready to, face the penalty. Now, if I'm on the jury, this guy's walking home that weekend, but I assume he is going to actually have to, spend some time in jail. And back then they might have fried him. I don't know. They seem pretty harsh back in the day with murderers. But
what the killer even prays on that people are guilty. I mean, he gaslights one guy into convincing himself that he was it. So that I found that
in the dark triad there. Yeah. He's a bad guy.
Well, and I think that is another way that really subtly that they it's put across that the connectedness of these people, because they cared about the effects of their actions, whether they're feeling guilty because they are responsible essentially for the deaths of all these people, or that they might be, and to me, that's just another one of the ways that it shows this link between all these people. So you've got this, this actual story, but how they interact with each other. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, on the surface, it makes them, red herrings, but it's really deeper than that. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to one of the more vivacious performances. Is that the right word? Margo, who is second billing on the posters, as Gabriella Cloco, and there's those she's a vibrant, somewhat wicked, yet doomed Spanish dancer who works in New Mexico nightclub, and she went from the most annoying character to the most interesting character for me. And it was just because of the black ops.
Yeah, I thought at first when you see her, it's like, oh, obvious victim, and thank God. But the scene with her and the older man in the nightclub is amazing. I mean, two characters you're fully prepared to dislike, and they're so human and likable. Even if you disapprove of, certain elements of how they live their life, and, who cares what you think? You get them. The humanity of them comes through, and, she's doomed. But, and those flipping maracas are going to be a plot point, because you don't introduce something like that and drop them.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm not familiar with this Margo. She's pretty cool, and that's kind of neat back then to get away with one name.
Yeah, I mean, was it Chaplin maybe, and Karloff. I mean, there were some people will do it, but
there was something that really. One of the things that really struck me about the movie was how much Tourneur spent with the quote unquote victims, like gave them a real identity. And I don't, looking back at these movies now, so many years later, sometimes it's hard to have a good understanding of how it was at that time, in the sense of like, how often did this happen where you actually got to know these people as actual people, not just as vehicles for the main characters to have a moral reckoning. I mean, I felt that was really, really struck me with that, and something that I really appreciated in some of these movies with her. Like you already mentioned, you get to know her, what motivates her, her about her life. and that's true for all the people. So she played a bigger role in it, but just that respect of having the story for the people that maybe don't always get their stories told. The time that was spent in establishing that, I just thought was really striking. And I don't have a strong enough movie history to be able to say how common that was, but I don't even know that it's really that common now. But so it's I don't know. I just that really struck me, and
yeah. This movie is female heavy.
This might be more for the actress, but she was really playing those castanets, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she sure looked like she was.
It sure looked like it.
Yeah.
If I read her back, I think I read her background, and she was a performer as well. So.
Yeah, she was a musical.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, and then one of the scenes I liked with her was with the fortune teller, played by Isabel Jewell, who has two scenes really, maybe, and the one of them, the one where they meet, is rather pivotal and kind of foreshadows what's going to happen, even though the foreshadowing isn't really separated by a whole lot, but it certainly sets up a really interesting anticipation as an audience member, and it's all because of this interaction.
Interesting choice to play this role. I gotta say, this sleepy Mexican town has more than its fair share of ravishingly beautiful women.
Mm-hmm.
If I were casting this, I would have had some old lady with a wart on her nose and a crystal ball, but no, just another beautiful dame from whatever the name of this town is.
But that's what I liked about her, is and then you see her relationship with Clo-Clo, because they're just working. They're trying to make money and survive, and I liked that. It kind of took away some of the stereotype of what this character would look like, or the trope or something, and but again, not like hitting you in the head over it. It's just, this is just a girl like Clo-Clo, doing this stuff, and they're having a life together back here. So I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I think that this is an example too of how Lewton or the writers or whoever's doing this throws in these sort of sweet little things, because she gives a very key clue sort of under her breath while she's doing the cards.
Yes.
And she goes, it must have been a misdeal. And Clo-Clo said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "It was a black card and a bad card, but not the card of the cat, not the card of four-footed things." That was long before we knew that it was a man doing this stuff.
So her role was really pivotal, even though a lot of time wasn't spent necessarily telling her story. She still also had a large part in it.
Yeah, it felt like a turning point of the story. Yeah.
I just want to point out once again, if you want to solve a mystery, you'd be far better off going to someone who throws random tarot cards on the ground than go to the police.
The Bopo. All right. Now
I also can I say something real quick too about the relationship between her and Clo-Clo? I just love that the kind of the way they interacted with each other and how they cared about each other, and then they kind of gave each other a hard time. It just felt, again, it felt very natural, like sisters. It felt very, very natural. Even though they're playing, these kind of bigger than life characters. I just thought that they really did a good job with that too. It's really sweet.
Yeah, I liked her line. At one point, I think it's the last time maybe, and she has this kind of weird, like even the pose you got there, Doc, is just kind of her laissez-faire. I don't know, nothing bothers me. I don't care. Here's where I'm doing. That's, I'm stuck with this, whatever.
Stuck with it.
What's her name? Clo-Clo goes, she tries to hide the card. Clo-Clo says, "Let me see it," and looks and sees the ace of spades, and she goes, "The death card." And then up until then, she's getting kind of worked up because all the times this is coming up. But when Clo-Clo says "death card," then she goes,
something else.
"Maybe not."
It means something else. The softeners blow. All right. Here's a young lady, Teresa. We talked about the door. She's the one. There's the door, right? Or is that a different door? I don't know. Door.
No, that's it. That's when she's from the inside looking. See that latch there?
Yeah. Margaret Landry. She doesn't have a big part, but it's almost like a segment of the movie. Because it was one of those really cool transitions when we go from one of the characters to another character and then into this environment, and then we follow her, and which was seamless. It felt like in a really interesting way to introduce a supporting character like this. But she was, I liked her part. It was one of the more thrilling scenes because she's the one that goes to the graveyard, right? I want to make sure I got the right character.
No, she goes to the store for her mom.
This is the first death.
Yeah.
She's yeah. I am getting confused. That's why I asked. There's the other one that it is. But yeah, I like this character, and I'm going to let you guys go since I'm getting confused.
Well, I mean, this is probably the most celebrated sequence from the film. It's the one that I remember reading in probably Famous Monsters or any of those wonderful monster movie books I would get from the school book fairs and everything. And yeah, watching it, it's like, okay, that was cool. Though I had kind of built it up even bigger in my mind because I'm a kid in the 60s and 70s, imagining a lot of blood. It's like it didn't take a whole lot of blood to be a lot of blood back in 1940, whatever, 42, 43.
And they didn't do it often either, right? So
no, it was just probably chocolate syrup, but it was a really well done sequence. And yeah, I mean, we can't put the genie back in the bottle. If you pull something like this in modern movies now, kids are going to be like lame. But yeah, it was.
And they still do from time to time. I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
Didn't have, they established so well that she was a perfectly nice kid, and we see her terror, we feel her terror. I don't need to see her get disemboweled by a leopard.
Well, you hear it. That's another thing. Yeah. I mean, the pounding on the door, the shaking of the door,
the mom inside.
That door.
Yeah.
If you watch when that hits that door, that door really flexes.
Yeah, it moves.
And I kind of assume that's why it was so hard to unlock, that it might have bent that or something, but that's a great scene.
We see the same thing her mom sees and hears and will live with for the rest of her life.
And speaking of guilt to go around.
Yeah.
Her mom, who made her go on the trip, even though we knew the leopard was out and about, and then
dilly-dallied when she should have been unlocking that door.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a tough one to carry with you.
Then we go to our deck. So this is the one I was confusing it with. Was it Tuoliki, right? Pendian Men as Consuelo Contreras, a beautiful upper class young romantic without an R. That's funny, and somewhat naive woman speaking out for all the ill-fated for an ill-fated rendezvous. So this is the one I was originally thinking of with the other one. I got the two mixed up, and this is the one that goes to meet her lover, and it happens to be a graveyard, right? I am right, it's graveyard. And she gets kind of locked in by mistake, and it was, for me, that scene was really, really creepy. And so really quick before we dive into it, is the other girl the one that is walking home and the leopard's like on the over top of her, like in
she walks through the trestles for the train.
She's the only one actually killed by a leopard.
And that's
so Teresa walks. Might as well talk about this as we're going, because she walks through the trap. First, she goes to the local grocery store, who can't be bothered to turn the light on and unlock the door.
Right.
So now she's going to have to go the long way. Well, then she takes the shortcut through and you see her question that, she starts towards the trestle, then she stops to turn back, and then she keeps going. Anyway, she goes through the trestle, gets the cornmeal at the big store, and then comes back through, and that's when the leopard spots her and starts to chase her. And then this one, and I'm just going to talk about this. This the scene transition. So we see after the leopard escapes, then we cut to a scene where the cops are looking for the leopard. Right, they're banging stuff and everything, and then we see Clo-Clo walk up, and at that point, from that point on, now we start following Clo-Clo as she walks down the street and talks to Maria, who flashes the ace on her, and she laughs it off. And then there's Shorty blows a really cool smoke ring that she sticks her finger through. And then there's a couple there, and then she comes to Teresa's window, and Teresa's looking out the window, and at that point we following Clo-Clo, and now we're in Teresa's story, and that goes from beginning to end without any. I mean, there's cuts in the scene, but there's
seamless.
It doesn't go to any other scene. Then when they kill Consuela, it starts with, it cuts to Clo-Clo's walking to a flower shop, and it is going to steal a day-old flower. And Consuela's personal attendant happens to be there buying flowers for Consuela's birthday. And so then she gives her a fresh flower. I forget what her name was, Rosita, hands Consuela a fresh flower. And then at that point on, now we turn and now we follow Rosita.
Yeah.
She goes back to, there's no real, I don't know how to explain it. And other movies might do this all the time, but I've not noticed it like this before. So anyway, that's, and then we follow her, and there's one sort of a time break where she's getting woke up in the morning, and then we go to late afternoon, and she's, I think, cross-stitching or something with her mother. And then finally leaves to go. There's anyway.
Yeah.
And so who's going to be guilty there? She's going to meet her boyfriend, so Raul's going to feel guilty for leaving early. Her mom's going to feel guilty for letting her go. Rosita could feel guilty for leaving her, although what she thinks she's doing is leaving her to privacy with her boyfriend. But anyway.
And even the caretaker who locked the door. He was there getting interviewed after, right? When had a scene after, I forget exactly.
I don't think we don't have a card for him, right?
No.
Well, he had a great line. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Where did he say? Time is strange. A moment can be as short as a breath or as long as eternity. Then he goes, "Don't linger. Gates are locked at 6."
Another one of those grave keeping philosophers you're running.
I know. Well,
what else do they got to do, right?
Look at all the friends I have, and they don't bother me with talk.
Yeah, the whole scene in the cemetery was cool for so many reasons. The light and dark, the kind of the fire from the outside of the cemetery going
the
through
sounds,
the sounds. Yeah. So much that you don't see, but you get the vibe from. Her running around. There's a great scene, a beautiful scene, and super atmospheric.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene. To me, that one, I think you're right, Bill. The other one with the door is probably what we remember from our childhood because of the magazines. But this scene here with her to me, is the thrilling highlight. That was creepy. It really worked for me.
Yeah, because she thinks she's trapped, and then she gets hope because she hears the voice from the guy on the other side of the wall who's going to go get a ladder. But he doesn't make it back in time.
All right. Then we have Galbraith, played by James Bell. He is a rational, scholarly, and mild-mannered local historian, museum curator, and consultant to the police.
And doesn't feel even a flicker of guilt.
Only hint. I would say he seemingly rational would be.
Seemingly rational, yeah. Until he's not.
Seemingly mild-mannered too. This guy's all seemingly.
Yeah.
This guy is a sociopath big time, and he shows it really quick.
Yep.
Go ahead, Daphne. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say this was the example of where I thought that the acting was he did such a good job just with his body language.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, you see him breaking down super quickly. And it's just like how his hair is mussed and how he kind of moves around.
He's not as rigid. He's more lumped, right?
Yeah. He goes from this very rational, mild-mannered person. It's like you see the mask fall, even though the mask fell a while ago. You kind of know that, and I thought that was really great. And then when it's compared to Kiki, who also did a great job, because you know that she's just setting him up, but she does a really good job acting like somebody who is trying to not look like they're setting somebody up. Yeah,
that's true.
But I mean, you just see a little bit of the tension, so you know what's going on. And I just really appreciate that. I thought that the actors did a really good job, and he really blew me away in that scene where you just see him just go like that.
You're talking about the scene in the room when they're
his confession, essentially, without his confession. Yeah.
Even while he's walking away from the procession.
Walking from the procession. And they start setting him up.
Chasing him. Yeah. I liked it when they were chasing him through the, I guess that's what you're talking about. And when they catch up with him toward the front of it, and you just see him kind of.
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah.
Fall apart.
I was thinking more of when it's still in the museum and it's walking towards the museum, and then he's kind of breaking down there. And then, but the scene where he is with the procession, I thought that was beautiful and creepy. And just so interesting how this just happened in the middle of this procession. And so you're in there, and then they pull you out, and everybody's freaking out. Well, those three guys are freaking out while everybody else is doing this procession. I just thought it was really interesting, super interesting.
Well, and they're commemorating the monks that did penance for all these indigenous people that were killed by the conquistadors, and he's just killed 2 or 3 people, two, I guess. I love his. So there's 2 kind of foretellings here that I never caught before. But when they first meet him, or when Kiki first meets him, they're having a drink at the nightclub, and she finds out that he was a teacher somewhere. And why did you give up teaching? Various reasons. But you're in show business. That must be.
That was glossed over real fast.
Yeah, various reasons. I'd like to know what they were. Yeah. And then later on, that guy plays he plays a huge gaslighting guilt trip on Charlie Howcome.
Yeah.
And knows damn well he's doing it, and does it. If you pay attention, it's when Charlie's arguing that a man could have done it, and then he's like, "Well, the man could have done it."
Right. Let's point the finger towards this guy. That was something else that really struck me with how good this movie was, is that initially, you're dealing, and I know this happens with storytelling where you know who it is ahead of time, and then you kind of find out what happens. But I just somehow the way that it's done, I wasn't expecting it, and then it just didn't feel like it was an obvious thing for you to catch, but then it was really obvious, and but it made you focus more on what was going to happen, how many more people were going to die, when is he going to get caught. So all that focus was on those people again, the people. So I just was like, it was just so well done for me. It just really took me by surprise. And then there was just another, he turns it on. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a good job explaining this because I just think it's so cool. But so you initially feel like, this guy's probably the killer. And then you think, that's kind of a letdown. But then, you're supposed to know that he's the killer. But then you don't even think about him anymore. You're thinking about the process of what's going to happen to the people. Right. And, I know like that's not very unusual, but just something about the way that it was done here, I just thought was really cool. I don't know.
No.
It's a great performance, and he's a despicable, evil guy. And I'm not even. I think he's still gaslighting him even to the bitter end when he suddenly turns into this kind of weak, pathetic, I couldn't help myself. I was compulsions I couldn't control kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you were really doing a good job throwing that poor guy under the bus.
Yeah.
That was cold and calculated. None of this. I woke up covered in blood. I have no idea how it got there. Don't whiz on my leg and tell me it's raining, pal.
Yeah.
Well, and then after Charlie spends a couple days in jail and there's another killing, then it was like he goes up to him and says, "See, I couldn't have done it." Oh, I never thought that you'd do it. What about you? Yes, he knew exactly what he was doing. But Bill, here's the line where he finally fesses up is the last line, his last words on earth. He says, "Fear, that was it. The little frail body, the soft skin." And then
he's starting to get turned on.
She screamed. And then that's when Raul shoots him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie Halcombe. Who is the victim of the gaslighting? We were just talking about it.
And he's the real leopard man, and his wagon has a sign on it that calls him the leopard man.
Yeah.
Because he goes around with the leopard and does shows and stuff.
I'm wondering if people back in the 40s actually thought that, this guy's probably the killer. He is the leopard man. He's kind of sketchy looking.
They didn't dwell on that much. He just had to pick it up from the side of his wagon.
Yeah.
But he does good. I mean, I totally buy into it.
Yeah.
His all we know about him at first is he's the guy that loaned him the leopard. Right? Loaned it to Jerry. And then
he's guilty of anything of putting too much trust in his training ability to take a wild animal and make it not be a wild animal, which is, fraught with peril. Ask Siegfried and Roy.
And then, of course, we have our police officer, Ben Bard, as Chief Robles.
Yes, this is the scene where someone says to them, "Hey, there's a body on the ground," and they immediately all look up in the trees.
Why'd they do that?
There always.
This is the movie that set the standard for all giallo movies that would come along where, if the police all just vanished off the face of the earth, the crime would be solved not 1 second later than it would otherwise. They just don't see it coming.
Although he did believe that Charlie did not do it, but he locked him up anyway, just because Charlie was so adamant about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll lock you up, but he
didn't. He just decided that all this mess that was going on was because of that darn press agent. And his scheme.
Well, it kind of was. It kind of is.
It kind of was. But he thought it was the leopard. People tried. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but he didn't want to believe it was anything other than that. Yeah.
All right, explain the tie.
Well,
I
can't. That's the
short fat ties were the fashion of the time. Come on.
Oh my god! And I was the tie.
I'm sure in the future they'll look back at the year, 2026 and say, why did people wear hats that said hat on them? And, we won't be around.
Oh my God.
This is a ray gun hat. So anyway.
And then of course we have Dynamite.
Dynamite.
We just got to give him some cred here, right?
Yeah. Beautiful.
The same one that was in Cat People.
Does he have any guilt? He does not. I regret nothing. I am as God made me.
No, it's the same animal. Yeah,
it's a beautiful animal.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
I was kind of impressed with how the people, when Jerry and Kiki had it on the leash or on a string, as Teresa said, that they just seemed they had to get used to it or something, because as that cat just kept pacing and walking around all the time. And they just seemed, I'm not bothered by that. We're talking, we're having a conversation. I don't know. I was kind of impressed how they seemed like they were used to that right away.
Well, there you go. That's our cast of characters. Thank you all very much.
Yay.
Well, then,
now's the time on Sprockets.
I screwed this up last time. It is now time for taglines with Chad.
And boy, did Chad dodge a bullet this week.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
so
yes.
many.
So many taglines.
There's a lot of taglines, so we're gonna do round robin.
All right.
I think maybe Chad saw this list.
Yeah, we'll go with
All
that.
right, so we'll start. let's go with Daphne. Start with the first one.
Okay.
We'll just go around the block.
Okay. Women ripped by fang and claw by savage monster. Death strikes from a lonely, dark place. Who or what is the thrill killer?
Thrill killer.
Thrill killer's pretty good.
All right, and my next, is that the direction we're going?
Yes.
All right. Murder for a thrill. But by whom or what? Man beast or beast man? And why only lone women the victims? You'll never know until the very end, until you've lived every minute as a baffling as a mystery as ever screened.
All right.
A
Okay, I guess I'm next.
sentence.
Man beast or beast man. I don't
Beast,
know. It
yeah,
sounds
there's
a lot
huge
different to
difference.
me.
Well, one of them has the legs of a man, but the head of a beast, and like a centaur. Or I love these taglines. Lots of capital letters. This one's all
Yeah.
capital letters. Thrill killer of women and girls.
We do it like it's a barker. Like, come on in.
Yes, well, listen, if it's capitalized, you should scream it, I believe.
Okay,
My philosophy.
I'll do my share. You've seen the ape man, wolf man, cat girl, but we dare you to see the leopard man. The cat girl.
Yeah, true.
The cat girl.
I was thinking panther women, but
Cat girl, yeah. Women alone, the victims of strange, savage killer.
that's the tagline on the most common poster, I think.
Yeah.
Which is like, I feel like they've never spoke English before.
Yeah.
Women alone, the victims.
Yeah. The next one is one that you would see on one today. The best of all thrill pictures.
Half maniac,
All right.
half animal, stalking his prey. Don't be surprised by anything you see.
Half maniac, half animal.
Yeah.
Or animal maniac? Maniac animal?
I don't know. I'm picturing the guy from the movie. Anyway,
The most unmaniac guy possible.
half animal. No, I'm the movie Maniac.
Oh,
All right. Where were we? Half maniac, half animal. Strange, savage murder. Striking a women only.
This may sound a little familiar. A shriek in the night. Another victim torn to pieces by claw and fang. Is it man like beast or beast like man that picks only beauty as prey? And why? And why?
Oh my gosh. Beauty ravaged by fang and claw in crime's strangest mystery.
Ravaged. Fang and claw. I've
Yeah.
seen that before somewhere.
Well, this one has no capital letters. Okay, well, fine.
Strange.
Don't be afraid to know the truth about the monster that killed for a thrill.
But I want to be afraid.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the whole point? All right.
It's a tagline.
Death striking from the dark with ripping fury.
ooh,
Was it man or beast that tore to shreds victim after victim, striking only at defenseless beauty? Know the truth about these murders for a thrill.
You don't write them.
Yeah.
There's one. Oh, this is the one.
Is this
Never
one?
mind. Yeah.
Now another suspense-packed horror show with a mysterious and murderous menace building up to a terrific climactic wallop.
We just a little too happy with our alliteration there.
Yeah.
Oh my. Sheer terror strikes the victims of the maniac who feels like a cat.
Yeah, that's
Why would they not capitalize maniac? I don't
I
understand.
don't know. He licks you to death and then coughs up a hairball in
Right,
your throat.
exactly.
Yep. And we finish up with nothing but capital letters with death stalks these panic-stricken people, hunted by a killer who is half cat, half man. Lies.
And that has been Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
I'm still, I gotta do that. I keep saying we're gonna do some Photoshop cutouts of other people in that Taglines with Chad picture, or even change the jingle a little bit. All right. So that's it for taglines, and I think maybe now we should move on to posters, because that goes with taglines, how they market.
All
and
posters are beautiful back then.
Women alone, the victims. I just don't like that. I'm not sure how they should have said that, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely a human hand claw. I wonder if they, I love that Margo gets second billing and huge, big, as big as O'Keefe. I think that's really cool. Because when I read it, it's Margo O'Keefe, but that's because it's me.
Well, she got higher billing than Gene Brooks.
Yeah.
Nice poster. And then we move on to some kind of lobby card kind of things.
I wish they do lobby cards again.
Yeah.
And we got the there's the hand-like claw again. Although isn't that the way a weird cat's claws would look? A leopard man?
I suppose.
I don't know.
Yes.
See, if this were a modern Giallo movie, we would have seen this. It would have been a big.
No kidding.
I created a claw that like a cat, because these people are messed up. There's that one line where they basically say, but they're not, and you're like, not what? Oh, not eaten. Yeah. So this thing shredded them up, but he didn't eat it. Like, and then immediately your imagination's like, oh man, what are they seeing here? What was left of?
Oh yeah, because there's a couple times where Jerry, like, he's in a conversation, he looks away, and you can tell it's the body is what he's looking at, and sort of like he is taken aback a little bit, and then pauses for a second. So I gotta ask, what is this woman in the top one wearing?
Not a lot.
I don't.
Is that a nightgown, or is that a
nightgown or a slip, or
okay? So that never happened.
I don't know. No,
Oh, that did not happen.
Well, she's gasping with amazement. That's what's happening.
Clutching.
There's a tagline we forgot. Oh no!
You'll gasp with amazement.
I guess. All right. Let's see here. And the next one is this one. We think. What were you saying, Doc? You thought this might be from the program?
This is probably from the press program that they would have. Yeah.
Boy, is this one deceptive. See, like I was saying, if I were a kid and I saw this poster and I went to see the Leopard Man, I'd want to burn down the theater. And it's like, man, I was expecting a humanoid leopard-like werewolf creature that apparently is 15 feet tall, and I got Don Knotts, the curator of a museum, who apparently is hitting girls with a rake or something. I don't know, but whatever. This is deceptive. Man, grown-ups really lie to you.
In print.
But actually, in this poster, they're kind of giving it away, even though they're not. Because you look at the leopard man, you can tell that he's wearing something. The man's face is below.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that until you just said it. Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
and these strings of fur that come down his arms.
You're right. Yeah. So,
which would have been awesome.
That's probably pretty close to the book. But
that would be pretty cool.
And he had something like that, because otherwise, how could he have done that? And also left the the broken claw and the leopard's hair.
Yeah.
They should have had a scene where the heroine is like, poking around places she doesn't belong and comes, finds this closet and there's like a leopard man suit just hanging there, and she does the classic Scooby-Doo. What would a museum curator need with a leopard suit? I don't know, Daphne.
What display does this go in? All right. And this was a Warner archive. Now, this is interesting. All of these movies are mixed up. Like the Lewton movies, for a while, you couldn't get them all on disc, but now you can, I think, unless some of them are out of print. But the Leopard Man, which is on this Warner archive collection with the Ghost Ship, was is on a Screen Factory on its own. The Ghost Ship is on a Warner archive paired with Bedlam.
Oh, interesting. Richard Dix. Did he ever even think about just going as Dick Dix?
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
So in the movie that you guys did, the horror of the blood monsters.
Yeah.
The lead in that
mess.
The lead in that's name is Robert Dix. He is Richard Dix's son.
Oh, wow. I don't think
Richard Dix is either the first or one of the first actors to win an Academy Award.
Wow.
For a movie called Cimarron in 1930.
Ooh,
nice.
Wow. Nice.
But he had a bit of a problem.
Oh.
One of those drinking.
Problems,
it was, yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty hot stuff in the 30s, and then
he does
a great. Well, no, he does a great job in the Ghost Ship, and there's no ghost on the Ghost Ship. It's a what's the word? A figurative ghost.
It's not. There isn't a ship ghost.
There's a ship.
Oh, ship ghost. Get it.
There's a ship. He's a nasty captain. That's a nasty character. And one of the new officers is trying to turn him in. And the captain is picking on him. So this movie, God, I just told somebody about this, I think. Because we just did The Prowler. That movie has Lawrence Tierney is one of the shipmates. And he goes down in this like steel cubicle where when they pull the anchor up, this huge, humongous anchor chain with links like 2 feet big, goes down into this hole and a guy has to be down there to guide it and make sure it's coiling upright, not getting all piled up in one spot. So he's down there and it's got an escape hatch. And while he's down there, and he's questioned the captain a couple times in public, the captain, as he's walking down the hallway, flips the door shut and the latch goes down. So much for Lawrence Tierney.
Yeah, we were talking about that because he was in The Prowler.
Yes. And there's Leopard Man who, it's a black leopard silhouette with a red guy.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He ate a whole guy.
I didn't even see that until you said
I didn't either until I just started saying
it. Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh wow.
Very cool.
Trade shows. All right. I think we're done with
now. I can't not see it.
But the Ghost Ship is pretty scary. And it has our own buddy Skelton. Is it Skelton Nags? Plays a key character in it. He's a deaf mute sailor who does a narration every once in a while to kind of tell you what's going on. Let's see here. So next up we have the producer is Val Lewton.
He did a few things.
Great.
He did.
Yes. Some real classics here.
So I actually, since we postponed this a couple times, I binged Val Lewton, all those Val Lewton films.
All these? Oh my gosh.
Yes, over the last 2 periods. Every one of them except Cat People.
Why'd you skip Cat People?
I don't know why, other than I've seen that the most times. And so the first 3, Cat People, I Walked with the Zombie, and The Leopard Man, are all directed by Jacques Tourneur. Anyway.
Yeah. The cat, yeah, and this movie, and those 4 are all part of this deal he made, right? Val Lewton made.
Yeah, there's 9 of them. Well, I believe he was working for David Selznick.
Yeah.
Or
now
he was working for David Selznick, but he was kind of bored with it, and he got this offer from RKO to produce these films, and he was told he would get like $125,000 for film, and most of them, I'm not sure if they quit at some point, but most of them, at least up through The Curse of the Cat People, which was 44, they just gave him a title. So Cat People is like, ooh, this Wolfman thing's making a bunch of money. How about we do a cat one? And they gave him the title, The Cat People. I Walked with a Zombie. And then they gave him The Curse of the Cat People, which he totally changed.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Which I would think, but a Ghost Ship was one that they gave him. The Seventh Victim, I don't know where they came up with him, but
somebody in a room writing down a bunch of them, they pick a bunch they like.
And then, for the last 3 films he did for them, they signed Karloff, and he wasn't real thrilled about it until they started working together, and he and Karloff really got along, because Karloff was looking for, how do I get out of the monster business and get some good acting roles, and he appreciated these roles.
Yeah, these are great roles for him. Cat People has one of the more iconic scenes when you talk about filmmaking, right? With the one scene, and then Isle of the Dead has one of the scenes that absolutely chills me to the bone, where the water's dripping on the coffin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just chilling.
And so the thing about the scene that you talked about, Doc, was that's where the idea of what Chris Peters called the Lewton walk and the Lewton bus come up. So she has this long walk where she's hearing people walking behind her. She thinks a cat's coming. She's freaking out. She finally runs up to the spot, and when she's looking somewhere else, this bus rolls up right next to her, and the air brakes go real loud, and it's a startling.
Yeah,
it's a jump scare. It's a jump scare with nothing to fear. And so that has come, like, there's all kinds of Lewton walks in this one, and the Lewton bus, I think, was when the train comes over the trestle, because everything is quiet. There's no music. She's she's scared. She's not sure where to go. She hears stuff, and she's underneath there, and then pow, that train hits just louder than crap, and then you get those shadows, and anyway, that's just
so good way to startle your audience. Yeah.
Well, and it got to be a thing, and I can't remember if it was William Friedkin or somebody had written a letter. I don't know if it's William Friedkin. Somebody who became well known in the movie business wrote a letter to Val Lewton and said how he loved how he did that, and he said, I'll let my editors, Mark Robson and Robert Wise, know how much you enjoyed their shenanigans or something like that. And he had something to do with it. I don't understand. RKO just basically went, people are making money off of these cheap horror movies, so we should do some of those, and we're going to make them even cheaper.
Yeah.
All right, so director is Jacques Tourneur, who is an interesting, very interesting guy.
He's done a few too.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I forgot that he did Curse of the Demon, which is, yeah, I absolutely love that movie. And Comedy Terrors is a different type of movie for him, or at least what I expect out of him. And
I found out when we did that not a lot of people like that, but I love it.
Which one, the Comedy of Terrors?
Comedy of Terrors, yeah. I think it's hilarious, but the things I think hilarious, I don't think other people think are hilarious. But anyway, that's okay. He also did Out of the Past, which is one of the always in the top 5 film noir movies ever made, kind of thing, with Kirk Douglas and Robert Mitchum.
Ooh.
Well, you just look at his horror movies, and you could say this is a guy who clearly could do a great film noir.
Yeah. Oh, he can. And that was the other thing that Friedkin, I think, talked about, and I think maybe even the other commentary on the Blu-ray is Konstantin Nasser, who's produced and done a lot of this stuff. I know his name. He's the guy that worked with Dick Clemenson with Little Shop of Horrors. He's the one that coordinated all that for him to do all those pieces, those extras on all the Blu-rays for Hammer. He did things called Men of Hammer. Talked about a different person each time, but anyway, so that's another commentary on there. So too. All righty. Oh, they basically said that this was like the two of those guys and Lewton and Tourneur were like a perfect match. That Tourneur Lewton was more the imagination one, and Tourneur was the functional one on how to do things and get things done, kind of thing. It's a good marriage. Good marriage. And then the screenwriter for this is Ardel Wray, and I just think this is a fantastic script. She did I Walked with a Zombie, Isle of the Dead. She also did The Falcon and the Coeds, which starred Tom Conway as the Falcon, and Youth Runs Wild, which is another Val Lewton movie that's kind of about the juvenile delinquency thing. Clear Up at the Top, in the 60s, she did some scripts for The Roaring Twenties, is the one in the middle there, in the picture on the top, with Dorothy Provine and Rex Reason. And then 77 Sunset Strip was the other one that she did a bunch of scripts for. So yeah, I just think it's cool that she was Lewton handed that stuff to her, and she was a very good. I think it was a great script. There's all kinds of little tie-ins and foretellings or forewarnings or whatever. And then lastly, this is based on, and then I'm going to shut up and you guys are going to talk the rest of the time. It's based on a novel by Cornell Woolrich called Black Alibi. Now, he did a series in the 40s, and I think maybe the last one was in the 50s, that everybody knows about, that likes pulp fiction and mysteries and stuff. The Bride Wore Black, the Black Curtain, the Black Alibi. And what I've got, these are the books. Valentine did a whole, like a dozen of these with, I can never get it right. With the same format, kind of neon lettering.
There you go. Go ahead and show them.
Yeah, kind of neon lettering, and The Bride Wore Black was the first one. And then, I don't know, somewhere on there, I think I have Black Alibi sitting out over here. But then he did a whole bunch of these other ones. We'll get to that. So what I did was I took the top of the books and then put the poster for the movies, because all 6 of these were made into movies. The first one, The Bride Wore Black, is Francois Truffaut. Street of Chance starred Burgess Meredith and Claire Trevor. for The Black Curtain, The Leopard Man for The Black Alibi. The Black Angel was called The Black Angel and starred Dan Duryea, a noir favorite. What else we have? Chase. The Chase is The Black Path of Fear. And Peter Lorre is in that. And then the last one is, I think it's a giallo, and I did not translate something DeRosso is that red. Anyway, it might be Rendezvous in Red or something like that. So that GD, but I don't know. But they've all been made in movies. And then those aren't the only ones he did. These are other books that he wrote that were famous movies. First off, that's him in the upper right with his mother, upper left. And a young picture of him and a picture of him shortly before he died. But Rear Window, the Hitchcock flick, Phantom Lady, another famous, and The Night Has 1,000 Eyes with Edward G. Robinson. So
great movie.
And this guy, I was talking to these guys before. His biography was First You Dream, Then You Die. And it's not an autobiography. It's by somebody else.
It's also thicker in the Bible.
It's not a quick read, but it's a great reference. Anyway, so that's how much. And then I got all these others.
Wow.
One of which, and so Valentine did almost all of these, and then Carolyn Graff came out and started to kind of copy the style, but change it a little bit. But you got to love these titles. I Married a Dead Man.
It's a good title.
It's a great title. And Deadline at Dawn is another one. Anyway, and I believe that's a movie as well. So he was a pulp fiction writer par excellence, and they did a lot of the things the same here. I was going to talk just I know I put this together and I'll whip through this real quick. Not very many changes with the book. The differences from the novel set in South American city, described as the third largest city south of the Panama Canal. In the movie, it's in a small town in New Mexico. In the book, it's a black jaguar as opposed to a black leopard, but the same animal. In the novel, Kiki Walker parades the jaguar down the main city boulevard, whereas in the film, the leopard escapes from a nightclub. That's not that much of a change. Let me see the big ones. Yeah, so the novel is even more episodic in that there's 5 chapters where each chapter is a new female victim. Whereas the movie is more fluid, running from one thing to another, those transitions with the characters. Let's see, the character Clo has an expanded presence in this. With the fortune-telling scene. The killer's identity and resolution are changed. In the novel, the murderer is the chief of police, a seemingly normal figure throughout, whereas the film identifies the killer as Dr. Galbraith. The final confrontation also changes in the novel as a bait and trap plan in the park involving the last victim who survived as a bait. And the killer is shot by a grieving boyfriend, and he shoots him. In the book, he shoots him like he empties the gun into him and goes, "This is for Consuela, and this is for Consuela, and this is for Teresa, and this is for Consuela." Like empties the gun. So anyway, last thing about him, when he died, 1968, he bequeathed $825,000, which is about $7.8 million now, to his alma mater, Columbia University, for writing scholarships. Anyway, that's my whole spiel on that. And now I will shut up and you guys will talk the rest of the
That's not going to happen.
They all laugh. Okay. So moving on to the actress, Jean Brooks.
Yeah. Seventh Victim.
Very good.
Yeah, and I saw she was in Seventh Victim, and I went, could she be? Is she? Yes. Is she the girl with the black hair, the sister Jacqueline that kills herself in the Seventh Victim?
Okay.
In the end, 63. She only. Now I'm thinking, what was that one? A Dangerous Game. I think. Nope, it's not. Never mind.
But yeah, it's a different one. Dangerous Game in 41. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a remake of
Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
No, something else.
Which there is, but that's not it.
She did have she was a camp hostess in Buck Privates. Isn't that Albert Costello, or am I thinking of something different?
No, that is.
Yep.
I think
Of course,
so.
that's a small role. So, and then she stopped in 48. Her last roles in 1948. Woman in the Night.
Yeah, does it say why?
No, I haven't found out why. Nope. I did find out. RKO dropped her in 46, and then she just kind of
Didn't get another contract.
Yeah, she didn't. She just okay. See ya. And yeah, that's terrible.
She did really great in this, and she did great in the Seventh Victim.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did she! And this is one of those. I just threw this together to same person.
She looks totally different, doesn't she? The haunted devil worshiper.
Anyway, I think she does a good job in here. She's in a couple of Falcon movies too, which RKO is doing. Looks like 3, 4. Holy cow!
Yeah, I think
5.
you have a couple shots from those movies, or oh no, you just showed it. Never mind.
Yeah, I just showed those 2 from the Lewton ones. All righty. She's good in this, but she's one of those people that looks like that photo shot of her there top. That's does not look like her.
I know she's a chameleon of sorts.
Yeah, she looks different with her hair up. She looks different with that black hair and bangs that they had in the Seventh Victim.
I wonder if that worked against her.
Maybe.
Yeah, because your leads back then were very much a personality, as much as they were an actor, right? They became known for something. And
she was in a lot of stuff earlier that I'm looking, although she doesn't have a lot of. You can tell by the names. 1936, Frankie and Johnny. She played Cabaret Girl. Probably not a
lot of bit parts. Yeah.
Invisible Killer.
Invisible Man Returns, I think, is one of them.
Junior G-Man. The Devil's Pipeline. The Green Hornet Strikes Again. That's almost got to be a serial, doesn't it?
Yeah, yep. I think she's in a Flash Gordon one too, isn't she?
Sure, I'm sure. If you saw it too. The Falcon in Hollywood, the Falcon in the Coalids, the Falcon in Dein, the Falcon Strikes Back.
She must have been part of the Falcon's entourage.
Well, it's a different name in every movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait, there's Vicky Gaines. Let's see. Baroness Lena.
Yeah, Flash Gordon conquers the universe.
Roxana Miles. Vicky Gaines. Iris Fairchild. Spanish Girl. All right, so Dennis O'Keefe.
The Dennis O'Keefe show. He had his own show. Who knew?
He did. He did.
I didn't know until put the images
I
together.
think he did a fair amount of film noir as well, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. There's
he looks like he was made for westerns.
Yeah,
well, he did some, but he was Brewster in the original Brewster's Millions.
Oh wow,
1945. Topper Returns, The Fighting Seabees, John Wayne. Those are all 282 credits. Holy cow!
Wow.
Yeah, he was
all the way up to an episode of Petticoat Junction.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he fit the role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the right look and feel for the role that he was, and he made for a good detective as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Margo, who is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I had no knowledge of her before this.
Yeah, me either.
No, but she must have been something if she gets to go by one.
Well, strangely enough, one of the most interesting things about her is who her husbands were.
Mm-hmm.
From 37 to 40, she was married to Francis Lederer, Return of Dracula. And 1945 until her death, she was married to Eddie Albert.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie Albert.
Green Acres, Eddie Albert. And they were both hit with the blacklist, but it didn't hurt him too much because of his service in World War II. They think got him off, but she got nailed and never really came back.
Did she ever show up on Green Acres?
I don't know. I don't think so. That would have been that
would have been perfect.
Actually, she when did she die? 1985. She could have been.
I think she could have done Green Acres.
I think that's who he married was a version of her, right? Kind of.
One of the Gabors a hard time.
Or Ava.
Yeah.
You want to try to go and pronounce her birth name? Her birth name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, sure.
Eight names.
Her birth name is Maria Margarita Guadalupe Teresa Estela Bolado Castilla y O'Donnell.
Isn't that crazy?
She went by MJ.
Margo. I might go by Margo.
She was raised in a musical family and did lots of that stuff. And in fact, where did I see this? She trained as a dancer with Eduardo Cancino, who is the father of Rita Hayworth.
Oh.
At age 9, she began dancing professionally with her uncle Xavier Cugat.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Talk about a showbiz family, I guess, or a musical family.
Yeah. So Lost Horizon is one of the films that gave her a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
Brought her to people's attention. And I think she's great in here. I wanted her to be in the movie more. She became one of my favorite characters.
All right. And then I pulled this out just because I thought they were similar. The top picture is Simone and Cat People. And the bottom picture is Margo in The Leopard Man.
Yeah.
Kind of likes those face spots. It just struck me.
Look at that. Did you see that widow's peak though?
Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah. And this guy's name is Biberman, or Correctamundo.
Is it Biberman or Biberman? It could be either.
It could be either B-I-B. I guess I would say Biber because it's one B, but I don't know.
But he became he acted in 56 things and directed 51. So I think he directed longer after he transitioned from acting into directing. A lot of TV shows, which I highlighted there, and Our Limits episode, The Human Factor with Sally Kellerman.
Oh.
And The Dummy. You guys remember The Dummy from the Twilight Zone?
Of course.
Yeah, he did that. And anybody does something for the Gilligan's Island, I got to put that in there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. That was his acting.
Yeah, he did 4 episodes of The Fugitive, which I think Jeff would like. He probably like.
They were there. I don't know. I don't think my dad didn't like Richard Jansen or something.
Oh no.
You never watched that. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
10 episodes of Mr. Novak. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know he was he started directing in 1954.
Yeah, that was cool to see that he made that transition. I saw him in a Thin Man movie. He played kind of a big role.
The Thin Man. He's in the TV show too. He directed an episode.
Mm.
Okie dokie.
Very cool.
Another Thin Man. He would dum. Oh gosh, come on.
Okay, and here's our star.
Yeah.
James Bell, who is one of those guys. You recognize him. Nobody knows his name. I do now.
Right.
The Spiral Staircase. We did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I Walked with a Zombie. Anyway, I think he's in Brute Force. That's a good film noir. It takes place in a prison. He plays convict in the print shop.
And what's this?
I guess that's it. All right.
Okay,
so Russell Wade, I just threw him in because he was the guy that he did two things in this movie. He was the guy on the other side of the wall that she was shouting to.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the guy wearing the cowboy hat and the convertible that offered a ride to Clo-Clo.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up starring in The Ghost Ship. There he is with Richard Dix on the bottom and with Boris Karloff on The Body Snatcher. He was the young doctor that came in.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought it was a weird trivia thing. And then I just as a little spiel. Roy Webb was a composer, and he was the composer on almost all of the Lewton movies, most of the RKO stuff. He was nominated for 7 Oscars for Marty. Well, these are just movies he did. Marty, Houdini, Mighty Joe Young, The Window, Out of the Past, which we mentioned, Crossfire, another film noir, The Devil Thumbs a Ride, The Locket. These are all film noir. Notorious, Bedlam, The Spiral Staircase, Murder, anyway, he just goes. Cat People, I Married a Witch, A Stranger on the Third Floor. He did the music for that. The cinematographer is Robert D. Grasse. He entered as an assistant cameraman and moved on to cinematographer at the age of 21. When talkies came in, he backed off to just be a cameraman, but then bumped right back up to cinematographer. And an interesting thing is he did 157 episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show. 272 episodes of the Danny Thomas Show.
I was going to say, what was that, one season?
65 episodes of Amos and Andy. Anyway.
Credit.
And then Mark Robeson is the editor who had worked on Citizen Kane and The Magnificent Ambersons, uncredited for $1.25 an hour in around 1940s.
$1.25 an hour.
He edited Cat People, I Walked with the Zombie, and The Leopard Man, and then directed The Seventh Victim, The Ghost Ship, Isle of the Dead, and Bedlam.
Oh, he directed Isle of the Dead? Okay.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, that's my little get these other guys, because these guys appear all the way through. You know, the same guys appear in all those, and we don't always think to mention them. I think that's it. I know there's stuff about this movie that I wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up. We were already going on, and I think the most fascinating thing is if you watch what happens for the scenes, because that's the one for Teresa, the one we talked about, the one for Consuelo. This is another one of those segues. So the opening scene, the intro music, this crashing orchestration has a lot of castanets in it. And then we merge into where it's just castanets, and we're zooming in on her apartment door, and she's practicing castanets, and then swing over to her neighbor, Kiki, and her roommate. And there's a neat couple neat scenes with her roommate too that are neat. Like when they're leaving and the roommate talks about how I can see the bus station out, or I see buses drive by every day out my window, and I'm never gonna, those are sweet little things that again make it more personal. So we see Charlie has turned himself in. He's in the jail cell, and then he hears castanets out the window. And then we go and see Clo-Clo walking with the castanets, and that turns into her death scene. She goes all the way home, finds out she lost the $100 bill, which I also did that. I'll probably get these wrong, but I think the $250 he owed the guy for the cat is like $4,500 to $5,000 now.
Good gosh!
And the $100 the old guy gives her in the nightclub is $1,900.
Nice.
In 2026. So that's a hell of a tip. And that was a cool scene too, how they worked him in. That could have been his fault, or fault. Almost every character. All right, I'm just repeating stuff. But God, it's such a
I gotta go.
Bill, bye.
Yes, great movie. Thanks for picking it, and welcome back, Jeff. But
all right, have a good one, buddy.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Bill.
Bye, Bill.
That's it for Leopard Man. Any final comments?
Watch it.
Yeah. Watch it.
Watch it. You'll be surprised.
Pay attention. Pay attention to every line of the script. Pay attention to the scene segues, and that kind of stuff is just really interesting. And the Lewton walks, when we get 3 of them in this one, we get Teresa, right, which is a phenomenal, and then we get Consuela. She's in the cemetery, so what we get is her walking around the cemetery trying to find a way out, and then Clo-Clo. They all do these walks where they and then even Galbraith, right?
Yeah,
all right,
you're right.
Watch it. It's almost be time for feedback. We do have some feedback. First one up, Daphne.
Okay.
Episode 150, Rosemary's Baby, from Greg Miller, who's an Aussie.
Oh, cool. Rosemary's Baby, so good. That's my commentary. Greg Miller says, I'm listening to the Rosemary's Baby episode. William Castle's involvement makes me wonder why they didn't use Emergo. I have seen House on Haunted Hill in Emergo during an all-night horror movie session in the cinema back in the 1980s. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious, the whole idea of Emergo for a newborn baby.
Oh man,
awesome. It's a great idea, Craig.
It's Emergo. Great to hear from you. And then episode 194, Them, Doc, from Bon.
Yes, Bon Baru says, first saw this great movie when I was a kid. It scared the heck out of me, and I was most upset when the good cop got ants in his pants, saving those kids at the end. I like the way you put that. I've always blamed them for getting pinched.
For him
getting pinched.
That's
better. Having watched it again recently, I was struck by how much the noise made by the ants is very similar to the noise the demon makes when it appears in Night of Curse of the Demon, 1957. Have you covered that one yet? Thanks for the video.
I can't remember if I sent him a video for that or not. I'll have to go back and check. And by the way, Bon pour vous is good for you in French.
Okay.
Episode 224, The Tomb of Lygia. Gregory Crosby, Daphne.
Years ago, I saw a screening of Tomb at Anthology Film Archives. It was the only Corman Poe I had yet to see. When the lights came out, a programmer came out and asked us to stay seated because there was a special guest in the theater that night. Elizabeth Shepard doing an unannounced Q&A with the audience. Needless to say, she was lovely and gracious. The fact that it was a surprise made the screening even sweeter. Tomb isn't my favorite of the cycle, but I now have quite a fondness for it. thanks to meeting Shepard. It's certainly an excellently gothic end to the cycle. Very, very cool. Greg sees all the coolest stuff.
Yes, he does. He goes to, trying to look this up. Elizabeth Shepard was that was the new wife. The Lady Rowena Trevanian. Yes. The Lady Legia. Okay. All right. Then we have The Magnetic Monster, episode 226 from Perfect Mask 1. Doctor?
Great show, guys. Love The Maze. Wish you would cover it on the show. Although Bill has now spoiled the ending. Now.
Crying emoji. And where's
crying
Bill? Emoji. Thank you, Perfect Mask. Yes, we do that. I think I kind of spoiled some of the stuff in Ghost Ship maybe. And last but not least, episode 263, The Pit and the Pendulum from Andy L. Daphne.
Crew. As I believe I mentioned in the past, the first movie I remember seeing in a theater was The House on Haunted Hill in Emergo, which scared the heck out of my 4-year-old self, but started a lifelong fandom of horror movies. I also saw The Tingler in an early run, although my seat didn't vibrate, the one right next to me did. So by the time 1961 came around, I was already pretty familiar with Vincent Price movies. So my parents took me to my first drive-in movie experience that was The Pit and the Pendulum. My memories of that viewing are a bit limited, but know that theater had a wired heater that you could put in your car to keep warm without running the engine, and wired speakers you hung on the window for a rather tinny sound. However, I vigorously remember the pendulum swinging lower and lower and squirming while watching through my fingers. It was fodder for a number of nightmares for quite a while. I did have some trouble following the dialogue at that time, as it wasn't quite common English for a 6-year-old. Like Doc and Bill, I later caught a lot of the post-cycle movies on TV-themed weeks, but not really one that I would play for my kids, nieces, etc. Not really convinced that they would appreciate the pace of the film. I usually begin with the 70s and beyond. Thanks for the trip back to my early days.
Oh, man.
Andy
Thank
L.
you, Andy. Yeah, thank you, Andy. That was great. Oh, my gosh.
Yay.
Did you experience that in the where you hung on the
the speakers,
the window? Yeah. I don't remember the heaters.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have heaters.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, but and you could hear not only yours, but you could hear kind of like echoes from all the other cars. It's really an interesting experience that I miss.
I do. I miss it too.
I watched Targets the other day. It was playing on the Turner Class of Movies, and the ending is at a drive-in, and they caught that sound in there. It was really interesting to hear it again. Yeah,
they went to Motel Hell in the drive-in. I remember that.
That's a good, interesting one. I saw. It was called Gates of Hell. Drive-in.
Yeah. Ooh. That'd be one you'd want to drive by on the road and look. That was the other thing. Every time you drove by the theater, you looked to see what.
Oh yeah.
Or you looked at what was playing at one of the other theaters. You look over and see.
Okay. Well, thank you, one and all. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Perfect Mask, Gregory, Bon Povu, and Greg Miller. We appreciate it. We love our feedback. There's lots of ways to give us feedback. You can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or you can leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel, or go to Gruesome Magazine's H&R and DOH podcast Facebook group. And we have a website. Yay! You can make comments there as well. You could find us all over the place. And all of our episodes are on video on YouTube and on Play Now Media. But you can check them out as audio only on most podcast apps. All right, that's it for this episode, Groove Believers. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1920 and 1969. Next up is one chosen by Daphne. What are we doing?
The Boogeyman Will Get You from 1942.
Oh my!
Time for some humor.
Karloff and Lori.
Peter Lorre. Yeah. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it has Karloff and Lori, so I figured.
Yeah.
This is. We may find out I'm wrong about this, but I thought that this movie was that Karloff kind of got ripped off because he played in Arsenic and Old Lace on stage, and he didn't get the part of Boris Karloff in the movie. So then this is somewhat similar. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
But also Maxie Rosenblum, who is a regular well-known character actor, Larry Parks, and Jeff Donnell, who we've had in another movie. I can't remember which, but I like her a lot because she said, "Screw it, I'm going by Jeff."
There you go. There you go.
That was her nickname, I guess. And so that'll be fun. Join us for that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the classic era, as only decades of horror can do it. Thanks so much, Doc and Daphne and
Bill.
Thank you so much. So say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.